Hey everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video with Howling Success. I'm going to try and see if I can get some space in the shot between my big blockhead here. What we're going to do today is talk about something that Nathan mentioned in his video last week, or the last two videos that he's done, being shaping. So shaping is a really cool training technique. Most of us are familiar with the lure reward method. We've talked about that in our episodes before, where you use a treat and you can use that treat to guide your dog into pretty well any position you want them to be in. Great way to train new skills fast, but you'll remember in those videos we might have mentioned that it's the only time that will encourage you to show your dog the food before they behave. We also mentioned that one of the pitfalls of luring is that your lure can turn into a bribe pretty quickly, and it is really important to up your training. So what we're going to do today is talk about another technique, which is shaping. Shaping is a really cool training technique because it actually puts your dog in the driver's seat. When we do luring or most other dog training techniques, we tend to say to the dog, I will tell you what you're doing, how you will do it, when and why. You'll only be able to do it with my permission if I say so. And it's very much, even with the most benevolent of dog trainers, even with the most gentle of dog trainers, it really does put your dog under the thumb. You know, and we accept that that's kind of part of the dynamic with dogs, but we're starting to see more and more the way that we handle our dogs and the way that we live with our dogs, that we want to give them some autonomy over what happens to them where we can. We want to give them some choice over what happens to them when we can. And the operative word being when we can. Obviously, sometimes we can't always empower our dog's choice, but where we can give them choices to control their outcomes and control what happens to them, it's really great and it's really empowering. One of the things that Nathan mentioned too when talking about reactive dogs is that shaping can be a really great thing for anxious dogs to help build their confidence, because it says to that dog, you tell me what you're going to do, you be creative, try things. And that is so cool. Like, it is so cool because when you see that penny drop with a dog that's never done shaping before and they're like, wait, what do you mean? I can just try stuff and see what happens. I'm not going to get punished. I'm not going to get in trouble. You suddenly see this light bulb go boing over the top of their head, and you get this empowered little learner who feels confident to try things and make choices and have a go. I mean, I'm not a human parent yet, but I'm hearing many similarities between some of the things that we might try to do to build resilience in children. So what I'm going to do today is tell you guys how we're going to shape behaviors and then show a little demonstration with Odin. So shaping is about reinforcing successive approximations towards a goal behavior. So if I talk about that in English, not trainer jargon, it's kind of like the hotter or colder game of the dog world. We start by casting the net really wide and saying, I'll reward anything that you do that has anything to do with the goal behavior. As an example, if you were trying to train me to pick up the phone right now, you might start by rewarding me for any interaction that I have with the phone, as in I've just looked at the phone, so you'd probably reward me for that. If I lent my body towards the phone, if I put my hand up in the vague direction of the phone, all of these things would be rewardable in the early stage because we're casting a really wide net in the hotter or colder game. We're saying, yep, warmer, 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 warmer. Once you start to see your learner, be it a human or a dog, understand that, okay, it's something to do with this vicinity, I'm getting warmer, I'm going to start to hang around here, we'll start to bring that net in a little bit. We might say, I'm no longer going to reward any action that happens further away from the phone. I'm only going to reward action that happens within maybe a 2-meter radius of the phone. Once the learner starts to understand that, and the coolest moment that you'll see with your dog is they have this second where they go, oh my goodness, have you seen? I can train my human to feed me. All I've got to do is just lean towards this phone. Mind blow. See, and then she fed me again. Look, watch. The dog just suddenly starts to see what they can do to control their outcome. So having a dog who thinks that they can train their human to feed them food by offering good behavior, I mean, how cool is that? At my core, I'm fairly lazy. I don't necessarily want to have to verbally or use a hand signal to cue my dog to do things at all times. I would really strongly prefer it if he just learned to do things himself and just did it himself in the hope of a reward by offering me that good behavior that he's been shown in the past. I will have a dog who just does what he needs to do. I mean, isn't that the ultimate goal for most of us? So when you're working with your dog, generally, start to see, like, you know, what sort of stuff do they offer you already, and how can you build on that using shaping? If you're not sure, or if you've got some things that you're sort of wondering about, drop it in the comments so we can give you guys some ideas. But what I'm going to start to talk about now is the actual process of shaping a behavior. We've talked about rewarding approximations, and we've talked about starting with something that the dog's already doing, but one of the really important things about shaping that's very different to luring is what you do as a trainer, and that is nothing. You're going to notice that when I'm training Odin in this next part of the video, I am going to make sure that I am as still as possible, and as much as possible the only thing I'm saying is YES, which is his word to say that what you've done is correct and you're receiving a food reward, and I will deliver that food reward to him. Aside from that, I'm going to try and do as little as possible. The reason for that is that I don't want my movements to be prompting Odin, to have him think that I'm cueing him by pointing, leaning my body, walking in a certain direction. Now, in some situations with shaping, if the dog's having trouble, we might use a little bit of prompting, but it's something that we do try to avoid as much as we can, so that we have the dog doing it by themselves and using their little Lennon, their little noggin by them on their own. So let's see if we can wake this potato up, and we'll start to do a bit of shaping. Okay, so I did make you guys a really cool brand new video today of Odin being shaped to walk into a pool. It was a really great video if I do say so myself. I'm not cross at all because the computer just said no, and I don't know what happened, but I've lost that footage, so woo! Because I don't really have the resilience to want to film it again, because I'm really annoyed at my computer, I'm going to show you guys some footage from the Karen Pryor Academy Dog Trainer Professional course that I did last year with Odin. We're shaping a backup in these videos. So what I'm looking for initially is any movement away from me, then I'm looking for paw movement. So yeah, the other thing too is I'll be pajama training, because any dog trainer worth their salt knows that the best training sessions happen in your pajamas. So please enjoy my messy lounge room and my lovely pajamas and my gorgeous dog learning how to walk backwards. Okay. Good boy.
Good boy, you ready? You're free. Should we go outside? Yeah! Okay. What a good boy, Odin. You're free. Do you want to go outside? Okay. little steps.